Okay, girls, I'm going to explain to you what you should be doing for your video, for your Google Sites assignment. So the first thing that I want to bring to your mind is to actually go through the assessment task sheet and read it really carefully, because the assessment task sheet is actually set out in a way that it breaks down everything. So over here you can actually see here are the steps, or we call it the scaffold, for you to do the task. And today I'm going to focus in particular on the instrument pages, where each instrument gets a page. And in particular what I'm going to do is go through and have an example. So for my example, I'm going to talk about the recorder as an instrument. So the recorder is a woodwind instrument, and we're going to go through and do each of these things step by step. Now importantly, I'm not going to do it in Google Sites to start with. Right? Remember that your website is actually like the final part of this whole process, and in fact if you have a look, right, you go through all of this sort of stuff, and then probably the last thing you should be doing is putting it all into your website. So instead of Google Sites, I'm going to do it just in a Word document. And what I've done here is Mr. Vieira's instrument research example, and I'm going to, what I've simply done is copied all of that information that is actually from the assignment, and it's from this part of the assignment. So it's all of the things from here. So all I've done is cut and pasted all the things in there. Alright? And we're going to go through and do each example. So the first one is, what instrument is it? Okay? And it says, what instrument is it, and include a picture of the instrument. So the instrument is the recorder, and there is my picture of the instrument. Alright, that's almost like steps 1 and 2 done. The next part says, what does the instrument look like, and what materials is the instrument made from? Right, so what does the instrument look like, and what materials is the instrument made from? So if we look at this instrument, and ideally in your research, I mean, one of the best things to do is to actually see if you can find an example of the instrument. And we've got quite a few of these instruments here in the music department, so make sure that you ask. If not, you need to simply research the instrument. But what does the instrument look like? Well, it looks like a long cylinder. So I might say the instrument looks like a, well, it's not long actually, it's not like a huge one, it's kind of about that big. So it looks like a cylinder, and you could even measure it. Okay, so I don't know exactly the measurements, but you could measure it, and I'm going to say it is approximately it is approximately how do you spell approximately, girls? Right, approximately. That's better. Okay, so the instrument looks like a cylinder. It is approximately, I don't know, about a ruler long. All right, it's approximately 30 centimeters long. It has, how many holes does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, and then on the top 8. So it has 8 holes on the top of the instrument, and you can see that over here it's actually got 2 holes put together, so I'll just make that a bit bigger. See in this area here, it's got 2 sets. The last 2 holes have actually got 2 holes on it. So the last 2 holes have double holes. And we might also say the top hole is like a whistle. You know, when you've got a whistle and it's got a cutout. Okay, so the top hole is similar to the top of a whistle. There is also, you can't see it here, but there is also a hole on the bottom of the instrument. All right, there is also a hole on the bottom of the instrument. Now, have I described what the instrument looks like? Right? Does that give you a description of what the instrument looks like? The instrument looks like a cylinder. It is approximately 30 centimeters long. It has 8 holes on the top of the instrument. The last 2 holes have double holes. The top hole is similar to the top of a whistle. There is also a hole on the bottom of the instrument. Alright, so I can go into a little bit more detail. But what I've done is that part of it. I've described what the instrument looks like. Have I described what materials the instrument is made from as well? No, I haven't. Okay, so I might say the recorder was originally carved from wood. However, today you can also get recorders that are made from plastic. Okay. Have I described, and I know that the screen's going pink, don't worry too much about that. Have I described now what materials the instrument is made from? Yes? Okay. Does it look like I've answered all of the first part of my assignment? Yes. If not, you need to add more detail. Alright, so when I go back to the checklist, and I'll go back to the assignment now, okay, and I'm looking specifically at the instrument pages, have I included a picture? Yes. Have I included what is the instrument? Yes, because I've said it's a recorder. Have I described what does the instrument look like and what materials is the instrument made from? Yes, I have as well. Now, the next part, how is the instrument played and how does it produce sound? So, let's answer that one. Let's change that back to a bullet. So, how is the instrument played? The recorder is played by blowing air into the mouthpiece. Alright? The recorder creates sound in a similar way to a whistle. So what I'm trying to do is explain it using everyday words. I don't want you to just cut and paste information from somewhere because the likelihood is that it's not going to answer the question really accurately anyway. The recorder is played by blowing air into the mouthpiece. The recorder creates sound in a similar way to a whistle. The air vibrates through the instrument to create a sound. Then you've also got to describe what the holes are. So why are the holes there? Because I'm describing how is the instrument played and how does it produce sound. What I've basically done is described how the instrument produces sound, right? But I haven't actually described how you play it. So I might say the the recorder is played by pressing the holes on top of the instrument to create different notes. So depending on what combination you have, you create different notes. Yeah.
So you write the recorder on the top and you write the recorder to play by
Yep. Okay, so maybe I should change that. Good. So just for the people listening, Sophie said that we're saying the recorder is played by blowing air, and over here we're saying the recorder is played by pressing the holes. So it's not a clear explanation, is it? So what we need to do is clarify that. And what we might say is the recorder produces sound by blowing air into the mouthpiece. So that's how it creates a sound. However, we play it by pressing the holes on the instruments, and we might even say whilst blowing air into the mouthpiece. Okay, you can go into a little bit more detail, and I'm trying to get this done fairly quickly, but have I described now how the instrument is played as well as how does it produce sound? Yes? Okay. I could go into a bit more detail as well, and I probably would if this was my real assignment. I'd go into a little bit more explanation. Next, what does the instrument sound like? Now, to answer this question, we've got to learn something new. And here we need to describe the instrument's tone color. Alright, the instrument's tone color is a way of using words to describe how something sounds. And it's the best way to do this is to refer to this tone color word sheet. I'm going to put this on Edmodo so that you've got a copy of it. But over here, here are a bunch of musical words, or not musical words, here are a bunch of words that we use to describe musical instruments. Okay? Now, it's probably going to help to listen a little bit to the recorder. So, let me bring up my YouTube example of the recorder. And here we have someone playing with an orchestra. Alright, but you'll get an idea. So, let's have a listen to this. Okay, so here's an example of someone playing the recorder. Let's go back to our sheet, and basically what we're going to do is look at some of these words and pick maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of them that describe how that instrument sounds. And it's almost fairly easy to do because what you can do is work out how it does not sound. For example, does the recorder sound aggressive? No. Does it sound distorted or grungy? No, it doesn't. Does it sound piercing? Well, not really. It's not like it's really piercing your ear or really hurting. Does it sound smooth? Yes. Does it sound sweet? Yes. Could you say that it sounds warm? Okay, people are saying no. Does it sound bright? I think you could say it sounds bright. Does it sound clear? Yeah. So what we do is have a look at a bunch of these different words and pick a few of them, maybe 3, 4 or 5, on the instrument. Now, when I go back to my assignment and it says, what does the instrument sound like? Now, you need to remember that it depends on how it's played. Alright. I might say, usually the recorder sounds clear, bright. What were some of the other words that we chose? Smooth and sweet. But we might say, however, if the musician blows hard into the instrument. Who's played the recorder before? Put your hand up. Okay, Chantel, what happens if you blow really hard into the instrument? It sounds... Okay, so Chantel is saying that if you blow really hard, the instrument can sound squeaky. So we might say, however, if the musician blows hard into the instrument, it will sound, sound squeaky. So what we've done here, have I given you a description of what the instrument sounds like? Yeah, the instrument usually sounds bright, clear, smooth and sweet. However, if they blow hard, it will sound squeaky. So I've answered what the instrument sounds like. Alright. My next question. What are some special effects or expressive techniques that are possible on the instrument? So I'm going to describe one special effect. If you blow into the instrument and you lift your finger up and down really quickly, you get a trill effect. Alright, which makes the notes go up and down really quickly. So, I might describe that by saying, if the musician plays a note and then quickly lifts their finger off the hole repeatedly, they create a trill effect. So that's the actual name of the effect. And for your assignment, this is one of the trickier parts. You'll need to go through and look at how these instruments are played and find out what their special effects are. I would try to have maybe 2 special effects for the instrument. Depending on the instrument, some instruments are easier. For example, a triangle, there's only so much that you can do to a triangle. All right, but as you know, a guitar you can do quite a bit more to. Okay, Julia, you've got a question.
It says, that doesn't make sense. It says then quickly lifts their finger off the hole repeatedly.
Okay, so we should say good. And do you remember that in your assignment, you get marked on your spelling, punctuation, and grammar? So I would have, if I was marking myself, I would take off a mark because that sentence doesn't really make sense, does it? All right, I would take a mark off there. So if we said, if the musician repeatedly lifts their finger off, wrong word there, off the hole, they create a trill effect. Does that make more sense? Is that easy to understand? Alright, good. Alright, so there's an example of a special effect. And if you're stuck, make sure that you ask the teacher so they can help you. Alright, and then finally you need to create a YouTube link, and the YouTube link was the one that I showed you. So, when I go through my assignment sheet at the top here, and I'm looking specifically at the instrument pages, have I got a picture? Yes. Have I said what the instrument is? It's a recorder, we said that. Have we described what the instrument looks like, how it's played and how it produces a sound, describe what the instrument sounds like, and describe some special effects, and do I have a YouTube clip? So I've gone through my checklist and I have all of those things for my first instrument. Okay, so
takes the Aussie pride. You can build a plan anywhere in the...
Sorry about that. Let's go back to here. What I've now gone is I've gone into my Google Sites. Alright, and I'm simply going to edit the page. And notice that I haven't done any of this in Google Sites yet. I've done it all in Word. Who can tell me why I might do it in Word? What's one reason I might want to do it in Word? Yep. So you can simply copy and paste it straight away. So let's do that. Let's now I might not be able to copy the photo, but let's see if we can do it like this. Alright, let's do that, and we'll leave the YouTube clip for a moment. So I've copied, I'm going to go into Google Sites, and I'm going to paste, and let's see what it does. Okay, look at that, it's copied everything except for the picture, right? Because it doesn't like the picture in that format. So let's insert image. Now I've copied the picture already to the desktop, so I'm going to choose a file, and I'm going to find my recorder information, which is there, and I'm going to go open. It's uploading, so wait for that to finish, and go OK. And I don't want a giant recorder that doesn't fit on the screen. I'm going to make a small one. There we go. So here's all my information already copied in there. Let's put in my YouTube clip as well. So we're going to go, let's go to the YouTube clip that I had there. I had the link over here. So I'm going to copy that link. And let's go into Google Sites. Insert. Go to Video. YouTube. And I'm going to stick that in there. And let's go Save. And it will now copy the YouTube clip. Now notice that when you're in edit mode, it doesn't show you the video. So I'm going to go Save. Alright, and there's the video that we used. I've got a picture. I've got my questions. I've got all of my answers. What I might do to fix that up a little bit is that I might change some of the fonts or the colors or whatever you might do. But let's say I make those a little bit bigger so you can see what the question is. And I might italicize them. And then I might fix up my dot points. But can you see how, once you've got the information, it's very quick to make the website. All right. Are there any questions, girls? Okay, good.